So we're finishing up this unit here with linear systems, and we just got to throw one more thing in there. Linear inequalities. All right, here is basically, in a nutshell, the main parts of what you need to know. And it should help you. It's helped tons of students along the way, no matter where they're at with their learning. All right. So what these graphs are going to look like, if it's shaded, it's going to shade above. Now we're talking about the line as we graph. If it looks like this. So basically, if the y is being eaten by the sign, it's going to be shaded above. And if the y is not being eaten by the sign, we're going to shade below. That doesn't make sense now, but it will later. All right. And the next part, kind of like before when we were graphing on the number line, if it doesn't have a line up underneath it, these lines are going to be dotted. Remember, friend zone, not really included, but we recognize them. Okay. And then solid line, if it has a line up underneath it, okay, so they are included. So on this, always when dealing with inequalities, we solve for y if necessary, and don't forget to, when you divide by a negative, to flip the inequality sign. We just got to flip it all over. And we'll probably have some examples like that. I forgot what is in this lesson right now, even though I just pulled it in. Okay. Short-term memory. It's like having Dory as a teacher. All right. So let's look at this right here. Now, we're going to get what we need to know out of all this. So there's not a line up underneath it. So this is going to be a dotted line when we graph it. Okay. And the y is being eaten. So we're going to shade above. Okay. Our b, this is number without x. This is 1. That's our y-intercept. And our m is 2, or we're going to say 2 over 1. All right. Now, we have everything we need to know right now. So we go to 1 and we make a dot. Okay, we go over 1 up 2, we make another dot. Now we're ready to draw our line. Now I'm going to, just for, making sure I can get this done, I'm going to add another third dot right here just to be okay. Now I can cheat, and it's not really cheating because it's using what I have, but I can make a dotted line. Let's see, it's not really cheating because I can't even do them correctly. But we can make a dotted line through here with my little smart notebook thing. All right, so if you were to graph this on paper, this is what the line would look like. Now, when we're saying shaded above, okay, this is all you really have to do. I would kind of use this, and basically it's like shading on that number line, saying that all these are possible answers. Possible answers. All right. And if we were graphing on paper, I wouldn't be like, oh, you didn't fill in everything. Blah, 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 blah. All right. And I'm not one of these teachers that makes you like, this is always love doing this. They're like, hurt myself. Okay. See, that's why I don't do that. Just enough to know what's going on so it stands out. All right. Let's look at another one. Now, y is not by itself. So we actually have to solve for y right here. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. And we're going to have negative y is greater than or equal to negative 3 plus 6. Remember, we can't combine negative 3x and 6 because they're not on the same team. Now, you could multiply or divide everything by negative 1. And what it does now is it flips this sign. Okay, so now we can answer our questions. Now we are ready. So is this going to be solid or dotted? This is going to be solid. Okay, I'm not going to circle it because it's going to get into that right there. Which way are we going to shade? Well, the y is not being eaten. Y is less than. So less than is below. Okay, so that's, and remember, I start from the line and go down. I won't try to like pick a point on this difficult stuff. And then our b is negative 6, and our m is 3, or 3 over 1. All right, good to go. So From the origin, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I make a dot. Then I go over 1, up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1, down 3, 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's 2. This is 3. Okay, now I'm ready to do my line. Now, this one's solid. Okay, it's a solid line. Oh, covering up my face. That's okay. Y'all don't care. And I'm going to make my color green so it matches. I think that's close enough. And here is my line. Now, as we go into shading, it's shading below. Again, it's not a scribble scrabble. Okay, you can sit here and just very easy lines if you were having a shade like on paper. And thanks to COVID, we're not right here. Again, not a super big fan of graphing on paper anyways, because let's think about it. Here in a second, we're going to go the opposite way. If you know these 4 things, you're good. Okay. All right. So this one right here. All right. Y is not by itself. I got to multiply both sides by 3. So now I'm going to kind of change it around a little bit. No, let's not do that yet. Let's not confuse people. So this says 3x is less than or equal to y. Well, this ends up being, if we kind of flip it around now, this is what it looks like. Okay, now I'm ready to answer all my questions. Is it going to be solid or not? It's going to be solid. Which am I going to shade, up or down? I'm going to shade up because the y is being eaten. What is my b? Where's the number without 0? Or without x? Oh, it's 0. I said the answer. Y'all are awesome. So it's going to go through the origin. And then my m is 3, or 3 over 1. We're ready to roll. So 1, 2, 3. And I didn't plan this on purpose. 1, 2, 3. That both of these have the same slope. Okay, I'm going to do a black one this time because I ain't got time for all that business. We ain't got time for that. All right. Oh, straight line. And I'm going to say, that's kind of okay. I mean, personally, I think that's good enough, but some other people would be very upset. All right, so there's my graph. And I've got it solid, and I got a shade above. I've already got my other stuff, so I can just sit here and kind of color in. I know that's kind of hard to see with the blue and the blue, but that's enough. Okay, just because yes, included, not included, included, not included. And when I'm saying included, I'm talking about the shaded area right here. Okay, now, so now I'm going to actually give you, we're given a graph, and you should be able to know this. Now, think about it. On all your standardized tests, your ACT, your finals, and stuff like that, you're not going to have to actually know how to graph. You're going to have to know the characteristics of the graph and choose the correct answer. That's why I stress these 4 things, because it makes sense. Okay, so right here, first of all, is it solid or dotted? I wonder. It's solid. Okay, which way is it shaded? It's shaded below. So I can already go ahead and, inequality goes here. All right, and it's solid, so there's a line up underneath, and it's shaded below, so the y is not being eaten. All right, now what is my b? This is my b. It's -5 right here. So I know I'm going to have an x and then a -5. I'm writing on here. That's okay. I don't care. All right, so my next point is up here. Looks like I went over 5 and up 1, 2, 3. So this happens to be 3 over 5x, and that's just that easy. I didn't write it right here because I went ahead and got the answer. But you're given your graph. If you know those 4 things, you got it. Okay. Same thing here. All right. Is it solid or dotted? Well, it's dotted. Okay, we're still going to use. Okay, we're using red. So why? So I know it's not going to have a line up underneath it. Ugh. Is it shaded above or below? This one's kind of hard to see. So let's look at this line. If this is the line, is it shaded this way or is it shaded below? It's shaded up. Okay. So it's shaded up. So the y is going to be eaten. There's no line up underneath it because it's dotted. All right. My y-intercept or my b, it looks like -2. So I'm going to have an x and then a -2. And my M looks like that's the next place where it really hits on the next thing. So I go over 1 at 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's it. Wow. Wow. Okay. Pretty simplistic. Okay. It's really, all right. So linear equations and our stuff from Unit 3, our regular inequalities, those two things had a baby, and that's what we have now. Okay. So, all right. Determine whether this is, I love these things because this is like a yes or no. This is going to be my X and this is going to be my Y. That looks like X and X. Okay. So what I'm going to do is everywhere I see those variables, I'm going to plug them in. So my X went right here. My Y went right here. So we have to see if we get a true statement or not. And that's it. So this is 1 plus, let's see, 2 times 4 is 8 is greater than 5. This is 9 is greater than 5. This is a yes. 9 is greater than 5. Yay. Good for it. Okay. Now, this is just basically, I want to show y'all something. This is the algebraic representation. This is a graphical representation. Okay. One of them is more plug and chug. This one is very visual. All right. So if we're graphing this line right here, first thing I need to know is this is, let's use this. This is going to be dotted. I'm going to shade down. My B is 3, and my M is, looks like negative 1 over 1. All right, so I go 1, 2, 3, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. And I'm just going to, make a couple more. Just so. Now, honestly, for people that just do the dots, look at this. I know you're not having a graph on paper, but if you just keep on with the slope for a dotted line, you're good because that is actually a dotted line. Some people in class, I tell them draw a straight line, take your eraser, and go all the way through. All right. So negative 5, 1. This is basically, oh, I forgot the shade. So I got a shade below. And see, this is why I don't want people to go all willy-nilly when they are shading. Just nice and easy. Just happy little lines. Little Bob Ross action. All right. So let's see, negative 5, 1. I'm going to do it in this color. We're going to do them in colors that will stand out from the screen. All right, so negative 5, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. All right, so this is a yes. All right, let's see what will stand out from that. So this is negative 2, 7. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a no. I could have circled it, but no. All right, let's do this one in yellow. I don't know if y'all can see that. I can barely can. 0, 0 is right here, so this is a yes. Okay, now I got to use a different color. Okay, let's do this bright fuchsia right here. So this is 0, 3. So 0 up 3, 1, 2, 3, barely in there. Now it's on there, but it's not a solid line. Okay, if this was a solid line, it would be included. This one's not included because it's not a solid line. Okay, not a solid line. Because if we plug this in, we would actually get 0 is less than 0, and 0 cannot be less than 0. 0 is equal to 0. I know it's crazy. It just is, it's stuff. Okay, it's just stuff. All right. So 2, negative 6. So over 2, down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll say that's 6. I was already knew that answer before we got there. And pretty much you can go ahead and say this is a no because this goes over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 8, and that's nowhere in there. That's like up here somewhere. Okay, so that one doesn't play well with others. So it's kind of isolated. Quarantined. All right. So now we have a system. Now we have two of them, okay? And we've got to check this ordered pair for both of them. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do these one at a time because that's how humans do things, okay? Remember, this is my X and this is my Y. So I've got to see. Here's the cool thing about this. If it fails one, it fails both of them. It's got to work for both, okay? So this is going to be 9 minus 1 is greater than -4. This is 8 is greater than -4. So this works for this one. That doesn't mean it's a astounding yes for the whole thing. So we just got to keep on cruising. All right. So now we're going to work with this bottom one. We're doing this down here. And we're still plugging in. So 2 and 3. All right, so this is 9. This is 1 minus -2, so this is 3. 3 is not greater than or equal to this. So guess what? This one is a no. Dun, dun, dun. It doesn't work. Okay, kind of like that. So let's use this right here. 2 parentheses plus 3 parentheses greater than 2. And we're plugging in, let's see, -2, we're plugging in 3. All right, this gives us -4 plus 9 greater than 2. Yeah, that's going to be 5 is greater than 2. So it checks off for this one. So we got to keep cruising. All right, let's see if it works for this one down here. All right, so this is -2, and this one's 3. So I get -6 plus 15 is greater than 1. Yeah, it's because this is 9 is greater than 1. Yeah, so this one works for both of them. So this is a yes. Good for it. Yay, yay, yay. Stars, stars. Okay. Now, so we just did systems, plugging them in. Now we actually have to graph them. All right. Color pencils are awesome. But in this day and age, you can actually go to Desmos, use the graphing calculator. It will automatically do them in different colors, and it really helps you see it. So, we gotta have contrasting colors, so I'm going to use red and blue. All right, so is this one solid? It's solid. Which way am I going to shade? I'm going to shade down because Y is not being eaten. My B is 7, and my M is -3 or -3/1. So we're going to graph this one first. Okay. So I go to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I go over 1 and down 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm going to go like this. All right, so it's a solid line. Gotta make it red. Wow. Other people that are watching this, if you're watching this and you're like, how does that guy keep missing those dots? I don't know. Okay, so there's my line. It's solid, and I got a shade below. So I'm going to actually just go down these vertical lines just a little bit. And I'm not trying to really make it super heavy because I still have to graph another one. And if I can't see that thing, it ain't going to happen. All right, so with this one's also going to be solid because there's a line. I'm going to shade, again, shade below. My B is 3 and my M is 1 or 1/1. So 1, 2, 3, up 1/1, up 1/1, this way. All right, so blue. Let's see if I got it this time. Oh, that's really close. That would actually work because this dot is in the wrong spot. All right, so there it is, and I got a shade below. Now, I would kind of just do a different angle, and this is one. We're going to see where these shading lines intersect. and try to carry them all the way through. I know that one came up a little short, but it's okay. So to make this stand out some, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my highlighter here, and I'm going to actually go through and highlight this area right here. Yeah, I should have used purple because red and blue make purple, but I don't care. This, where these things intersect, you can see like the greens going over them. This is all the area right here. That's actually our solution. It's kind of like if we had this is, a while ago we were plugging in, that's algebraic, this is graphically. So this is kind of the things we need to look at. Now, sometimes they're not in the right way, so we got to kind of maneuver. Let's use green and purple. Minus 5x, minus 5x. Get y, we got to flip the sign. We get 5x and then minus 1. So it's still going to be solid. Yay. It's going to be shaded above. And then it's negative 1. And then we have 5 or 5 over 1. So let's graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So solid. Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. And it is shaded above. So let's actually just kind of do this. We're going to use these lines and we're going to kind of shade a little bit right here. Okay, now I'm not doing much, just enough to let me know it's there. Okay. All right. So that one's done. And now we got to get this other one. All right. So again, it's not by itself. So subtract x, subtract x. 3y is less than negative x minus 6. Divide everything by 3. Now 3 is positive, so our sign doesn't change. Now, believe it or not, this is negative 1/3. X dividing something by 3 is the same thing as multiplying by the fraction form or the reciprocal. All right, so we have a dotted one, so that's going to be easy for here. It's going to say below, we get a negative 2 and a negative 1/3 or 1/3. All right, so go to negative 2. I got to go over 3. 1, 2, 3, and down 1. 1, 2, 3, down 1. 1, 2, 3, down 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Wow, I didn't help myself out here. I need, 1, 2, 3, up 1. 1, 2, 3, up 1. Okay, so there's my dotted line right there. And I'm also shading below. So I'm just going to see just the opposite direction. Just enough that, this stands out. Highlighter. So I want to follow along right here. So it follows along to all this right here. And I've had students, when we graph on paper, they would use highlighter to make it stand out. Because, if you're ever turning something into a teacher, you want it to be easy for them to see. That way they're happy when they're great. So, and this is kind of it right here. Now, this will be kind of hard to assess graphing wise on our virtual format, so I'm not really that worried about it. Okay. But, there is a way, but I'm not going to spend the time on it. So, we're not going to graph these. Let's actually find what they look like. So we're going minus 4x, minus 4x. This is, we're going to get the characteristics. All right, so we end up getting, I can write right here. Y is greater than negative 4/3 x plus 4. So it's going to be dotted. I'm going to shade above. My b is 4 and my m is -4/3. Okay. And this other one, got a -2x, -2x. So negative y is less than or equal to -2x plus 2. Divide everything by -1. So I get y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 2. So this is going to be a solid line. I'm going to shade above. My b is -2 and my m is 2 or 2/1. So yeah, it's a little time consuming with the graphing, but you know, get the main things. Get if it's going to be solid or dotted, which way you're going to shade, get your y-intercept or your b, and get your slope or your m. Everything else will fall into place. Okay. And again, I'm not graphing this one because I don't want to. All right, good things all time.